This is where we left things off at the end of the last session. We just completed the section drawing. We're now going to turn to drawing the side elevation of the building. So we'll return back to model space for that. Okay, and remember we had changed the coordinate system to be rotated. Now, if we were going to use this regularly, we could save that coordinate system. But because it's not a major project, we'll just recreate it when we need it. So firstly we need to put the coordinate system back to normal. And you do that with UCS and press return twice. Okay, the coordinate system goes back to normal. A small square appears at the junction of the X and Y axes. You know you're back to normal. But we still need to rotate the view. So we do plan and return twice. So that spins things round. Okay. Now just before I forget, I'm going to make a break in this line because I don't want the line to go fully across the drawing. So I'm going to break it in two places. Okay, just so people know that is symbolic and it's not an actual part of the design. Okay, now the heights for the elevation are primarily the same as the section, so we can use the section. But I don't want to copy these clip images as well. We can leave those behind. So let's temporarily turn off these two clip images. So we use the image command. We right click. So click on both of the images, then right click and unload. Don't detach, that drops them completely. We just want to unload. Okay, now we can copy these objects. So CP, return, grab the objects, return. Base point can be anywhere. I've got ortho on at the moment. I don't really need ortho on, I can switch it off. I'm going to copy the objects up here. Okay, then rotate them. RO, return, grab the objects and return. Base point can be anywhere in the middle of them, and the angle will be 90. Return. Okay, we can use the trees again and the people, but we won't need the solid fill, so we can delete that. We can delete the wipeout, and we can delete the shadows and the water, if it'll let me pick it. Okay, we'll keep the other 2D line work. Okay, so firstly we can take a copy of this line, or we can just extend it. Just click on the line and drag it through. Put ortho back on and just drag it through. So that's going to be our ground line, a nice strong ground line. Escape. And then what we're going to do is kind of work from the front to the back of the plan. Okay, the view we want is going to be stood here looking towards the building. So this is effectively the east elevation of this plan. Okay, so we'll take it bit by bit. You know, which bits are closer to us and which bits are further away. The thicker lined objects should be closer to us. And then as the drawing recedes away from our view, we change the line weight to get thinner and thinner towards the back. We'll save the thinnest line for the paneling on this wall, and this wall. Okay, so we can indicate the pattern for the marble panels. Okay, so we'll change layer now, and we'll start off with 2D elevation heavy line. Okay, I need my object snaps on. Let's have a look at which ones we've got. If we right click that, I won't need nearest, but perpendicular, intersection and endpoint will be useful. Okay, start with a couple of lines. So, line, and I'm going from, it's not giving me the line command there, so L, return, from endpoint. I've got ortho on, just drag the lines up through the ground line and and another one from this corner. Then bring a line across from the section. So this is, we're drawing the plinth. Okay, you can take that perpendicular if you want. Now if you can use grips if you wish, or you can use trim or fillet, whichever is easiest. TR, return. Pick the cutter, return, chop, return twice to bring back the command. Pick this as the cutter and return, and chop, chop. Okay, the other object that's going to be a strong line weight close by is this wall. So we'll bring lines up from this wall up through the elevation. Okay, just drag them through. We don't know how high to go just yet, but that's okay. And then we'll drag a line across from the section. Okay, so it's just the same edit. So a lot of repeated work. So trim. Okay. Just back from that position, we've got a pool and the steps. Okay, so these are kind of the next objects back. So they're actually going to be hidden. The height of the plinth would hide the steps, and it would hide the pool. So we'll change layers to 2D elevation hidden. Okay, let's start with the steps. If we copy the steps, return, base point can be anywhere, just drag them up until all those lines cut through the plinth. Okay, we've got 8 vertical lines here, so that's 8 risers. So if we divide the height of the plinth by 8, we'll know how high each step is. So div, return, pick the vertical line. It's asking how many segments. We want 8. Okay, draw a line. We're needing it from a node, but I'll only need to use the node option just once. So shift and right click your mouse, get node, take it from the node, perpendicular to the second vertical line. Okay, delete the nodes. Okay, fillet these 2 lines together, trim off the bottom, match this to this, and that's our step module. So we can copy that now, CP, return, pick the 2 items and return, and we're going from endpoint to endpoint, and then just keep going. Okay, this line wouldn't be needed, so we'll delete that, and these lines have done their job, they can go too. Okay, that was fairly easy. The pool, we want a line from the corner here, perpendicular. Similarly from this corner, but this time take it right the way up. Okay, so we're indicating that the wall comes round and away from us. Okay, the depth of the pool can be dragged from the section, and we take that across perpendicular. This is an opportunity to use fillet, pick, pick, return, pick, pick. Okay, so do you see how that's building up? We're kind of moving backwards through the drawing, adding the information as we go. Okay, next bit of object we meet is the plinth here and the wall. Okay, so let's put these more solid objects in first, and then we'll return to the roof. So we'll change layer now. We'll go one step back. We'll drop a notch in the line weight. So we'll go to 2D elevation medium line. Okay, so it's a line from the corner of the plinth, and I'm going to hover here but tap my tab key until I see perpendicular show up. left click and bring it across and join up. That's just a little bit of a trick. Using the tab key you can cycle through. Okay, so that's the plinth. We now need the walls, and this is in the same way. I want to take this line to the same height as this line, so I actually take my cursor over this line, tap the tab key, the perpendicular icon has appeared over on the right hand side, left click now and drag across. Okay, just drag this line right across because we're going to need it in a few places. Okay, bring up another line from the corner of the wall, perpendicular. We've then got a portion of that solid wall here. This is a bit further back, but it's still fairly prominent. It's still a kind of a more important object, so we're going to take a yellow line from there. Okay, and the final yellow line, we'll take it from the corner of the glazing. Okay, so there's still a fairly prominent edge in the construction. So let's use the plinth to trim off these lines and then trim out between these. Okay, so imagine you're making a model. That's kind of what you'd have. You have these two chunks of object. Okay, sitting above these is a portion of roof. So I think we'll stick the roof on first. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the white layer now, to the heavy line layer, 2D elevation heavy line, and we'll bring a line up from the roof up past the objects, and this is where the roof starts on this side. So we'll just bring it up. Okay. Now the roof is partially on the wall and partially off the wall. So let's fillet this side to the white line, return, and take this side to the white line. Take it this way as well. Okay, now do a match properties and match the white line there to the longer yellow line. Okay, so our roof is this shape. Okay, the roof's got two layers to it. So we offset firstly by 225 and return, and then by 100 and return. There's a small offset at this side, so return to bring back your command. It's 50 millimeters, and it's the same at the other side. So take it out while you've still got the command active. Okay, the rest of the tidying up should be doable with the fillet command. So zoom in closer, and then F, return, pick, pick, return, pick, pick, return, pick, pick. So we've got the two layers of the roof, and then they start touching the top of the walls. Okay, do the same on this side, pick, pick, return, pick, pick, return, pick, pick. Okay, so we've got this roof that's projecting forwards of the yellow walls, and that's why I've chosen the stronger colour for it. Okay, we've got a large panel of glazing in here and a column to indicate as well. So we don't want these to look very strong, so we're going to weaken the line strength now. So we're going to go to the red one, 2D elevation thin line. Okay, and we've got quite a lot of lines to bring up here. So let's do a little trick. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of projections, but we'll actually take them downwards first to near here. Okay, so I'm just going to bring the lines down so that you get in the shape of the elevation of the column, and then at each glazing division. I don't want to touch that grey line. Okay, so just stopping just before the grey line, Okay, now what we can do is stretch all of these, basically fold them over on themselves. Okay, so it's S, return, and do a capture from right to left, capturing the ends of those red lines. Return. You can zoom out now in between the command. Your base point can be anywhere. Just click and drag and just run those all the way through. Escape to stop. Okay, let's deal with the column first. These lines just need chopped using these two white lines. So TR, return, pick the two cutters and return, chop, chop. Okay, before we do the chopping here, let's make it a bit easier for ourselves. Let's give ourselves the thickness of the top of the window frame and the bottom of the window frame. So it's offset first by 100, return, take the white line down, white line up, escape, do your match properties, so pick a red line and apply it to the two newest lines, and then we'll deal with the corners first. So we'll fill it to tidy up the corners. And then use trim, TR, return, pick the upper and the lower frames and return, and you can do multiple trims to tidy up those. There's still a little bit of tidying to do. We need to get rid of this little bit of line at each window frame. The rain's really hammering down here now, you can probably hear it on the recording. TR, return, pick all 6 lines as cutters and return, and then we nip away the little bit we don't want. Okay, so I'm using the middle mouse button to help me move around, zooming in and out. Press escape to stop. So that looks really tidy. We've got our window frames and a lighter pen weight, then it jumps up a bit for the stronger walls, and then the heavy roof. Okay, this wall actually extends in to the building, so we'll just indicate that with a hidden line. So if we bring a line up from this position, okay, it's just a little bit of detail that I would keep in. Trim that off using the window frame and then match it to the stairs. Okay, so it's just a bit further back, but it still might be visible through the windows. Okay, so that completes the architectural aspects of this side of the building. We've then got what happens in here. And the first thing we encounter further back is the seat. So let's copy the whole thing. Let's copy the seat rather than dragging lines up. We'll just copy the seat straight up, closer to where we're working. Okay. Now the seat, we'll set the heights first. So we offset 350, so the small blocks are 350 millimeters high, and then the bit we sit on is 100 millimeters thick. So it's a 350 followed by a 100. Okay, some of the seat is hidden behind this wall. So we'll use the break command, BR, and we'll break this line to this point, return, pick this line to this point. Okay, reinstate the gap, just use grips to reinstate the gap. Okay, but these bits of line want to be on the blue layer. So match properties, blue to these two. Okay, because they're slightly behind the wall. Okay, let's bring some lines down now. Okay, we want to trim those off. And these all really want to be blue. So we'll match properties, make all those blue. Okay. We'll bring a line down at this end and then trim off. everything on this side of this wall wants to be red. So we can match properties, okay, because it's further away. Okay, and then all we need to do is copy these and change their color. CP, return, pick these two lines and return, and we use this as our guide. So from endpoint to endpoint, okay, we just run along and then do your match properties, and you can run a selection right the way through and they all go red. Okay, the plan of the seat has done its job. That can be deleted. Okay, we're getting there. We've just got a little bit of detail to add in at the back. Okay, so the next object we encounter is the wall here. So this would be, this is basically out of sight. The ends of the wall are both out of sight. Okay, so these would be on, because of that they would be blue. So the elevation hidden, bring a line up from there, perpendicular, and trim it off. And another one from here up, and trim it off. Okay, but we would see some of the roof, so we would see the top of the wall, so this will be a red line between the two. So make current the red layer and draw a line from endpoint to endpoint or perpendicular. Okay, we've got a roof that sits above the flat area. Okay, we've got the shape of the roof over here. Why don't we copy these objects? CP, return, take those 4 objects and return, and the base point wants to be this line, end of this line. Destination point's a bit trickier. Okay, place my cursor at this position, but tap the tab key until we see the perpendicular word. Left click to select it, and that should have left the roof in the right position. Okay, draw a line out and then match everything to be red. Okay, because that's much further back, it's beyond this wall. Where's the other side of the roof? Okay, so let's bring a line up. Okay, and then remember we've got the 50mm offset. And then fillet will deal with most of that. Pick, pick, return, pick, pick. But we need to trim off the bottom part of that line. TR, return, pick this line and return, and use that to chop off. Very close now. All we need to do now is put in the pattern for the marble panels. So let's change layers to 2D elevation, very thin line. Okay, and start with offsets of 2020. Okay, we'll take this line. Okay, and in the same way take this line in twice. Okay, change those new lines onto the 2D elevation very thin line layer. Okay, then the panels coming down the way are 1 meter in spacing. So O, return 1000, return. Take this line down twice. Okay, take this line down twice. Okay, match green to the 2 whites. But then we've got a bit of tidying up to do here. So it's trim, TR, return, chop off the ends, use this yellow line to chop off these ends, but then we need to get in a bit closer and use these two red lines to chop off the bits that are behind the steel column. Okay, things are a bit easier at this end. We match green to yellow, and then you can just use grips to extend the two lines. Okay, now when we get to the travertine marble over this side, the size of the panels actually gets bigger. These are 1.5 meters by 1.5 meters. Okay, so O, return, 1500, return. Okay, so we'll do the 1500s and then a 1500 down the way. And it's just a case of changing these onto the green, very thin line layer. And that is the elevation. Architecturally, that's the elevation complete. Let's just break this line off a bit, it's a bit too long. We don't need that, and we'll break it off a bit here as well. Okay, so we'll stop the video just there because it's been quite a long time, nearly half an hour, and we'll resume by enhancing the elevation, not quite as much as this one, but we'll definitely add people and the trees in the background and then take it to the next step. Okay, we'll stop the video there.